Hey, welcome back, coders and YouTubers. This is lesson 3 of my Learn Swift Quick series. In this series, I'm going to teach you about the if statement. So let's get started. I'm going to go straight to the playground. Okay. And the question for this lesson is, what is an if statement used for? Well, an if statement is used for executing code based on the evaluation of one or more conditions. Okay? So, and it looks something like this here. So, get an error. So, the setup looks like this. If whatever the condition is, okay, okay, so it's whatever the condition is, this is where you would put the code. Okay, and then you would end it so with a brace. Now, I'm real particular about um, coders or supposedly being programmers, let alone instructors, that don't know the difference between uh, brackets, braces, and parentheses. Okay, so I'm going to show you that right now and real quick. Don't worry about this. This is just looking at the format I'm trying to show you without actually doing it. You're going to see it in a minute anyway, but I'm just trying to show you the format. You know, this is how you would write it. If the condition open brace, your code, then closed brace. Why did I put it like that? Okay. So trying to make it neat for you so you can see it. Okay. And so this is the way you open and close a comment. So you're telling the program to ignore what you got in between. That's why I'm doing that. So that's not the format, but this is it right here. If condition uh, open brace, your code close base. Okay. So can't do any conditions if you don't have any variables. You got var str. I'm just going to leave that there. So I'm just going to say var DEFCON equals 5. Okay. Over here in our result window, you see, okay, that Swift already infers that this is an integer, so it knows what's going on. It's assigned to this variable name called DEFCON. Okay? So let's go ahead and fire up our conditional statement. I didn't mean to delete that right. That brace. Okay, so I'm going to say the condition. So let's just say if DEFCON equals 5, okay, that's the condition. If it equals 5, then do something. And you got, like I said, you have your open and your closed right here. Okay. So you have your open brace and your closed brace. So that's where you put the code that you want to fire off if this condition is true. So I'm going to say print we are at DEFCON 5. Okay, and you see the output there. Okay. Now here, okay. So output right here for right now. Okay. Okay. So this is the variable. Okay. So it tells us what the level is, 5. I put the level in, okay. And right now, I'm also putting in the output. I'm not really sure what's the good for the program if I'm doing all the inputting, right? So, for example, what if the DEFCON went up to 4? There's no output. No output. But if I put it back to 5, there's the output. There and there. Okay? So you mean to tell me if the DEF CON goes up to 4, okay, when I put in 4, I also have to put in the result? Because right now it's saying we're at DEF CON 5, and from what I see, it's at 4. That's incorrect. And the only way that I can correct it, like I said, if I input it myself, so I'm inputting the output. Boy, what a waste of time. Now it says 4 and 4. So how can we do this to make Swift to where once it's updated and I put in the condition, where Swift gives the result? Like this. So we are at the variable. Huh, what do you know? So what if so now the DEF CON had went to 3, and I update it here. I update the condition. There you have it. We're at DEF CON 3. I don't have to put it in. The result is given by Swift. Okay? So what the if statement is doing is checking the condition and outputting the information it gets from the actual DEF CON variable itself. So what if you wanted to do another condition? Well, you would do it like this. So you would do it like this. You would use the combo key else if. Okay, and the third key word in an if statement, of course, is else. So here you go. If it's only going to be, if you're only checking 2 conditions, you would use the if and then you would use the else. If you're checking more than 2 conditions, you would use else if for each condition and use the else condition to close the statement. So right now, let's just do 2. So we're going to go else I'm going to say else. Open brace, close brace. And you put in the code for, or the method for the result of the condition to check. Okay, these are nothing but Boolean statements. It's checking to see if the statement is true. Okay, so it's saying, look, if DEF CON is 3, do this. Okay, if it's not, for this, you could only put, to make sense, you would print we are not at DEF CON 3. So right now the DEF CON level is 3. So if it's that, then it says print we are at DEF CON. Okay, that's what it's saying. But if I were to change it, okay, but if I were to change it, hold on for 1 second here. Okay, but if I were to change the DEF CON level, let's just say it went up to 2. Huh. Now, we are not at DEF CON 3. This would be the output for this. If this were true, it would be here. Let's follow the gray line. But this is true. Okay? So, we are not at DEF CON 3 down here. You see the result. Okay? Now, let's add. So we had started with one condition and we showed the output. Then we started. I do this so you won't get confused. With 2 conditions, which is what we have now. Let's add yet another condition. And like I told you, every time that you have a condition more than 2, then those conditions are going to go in between the if keyword and the else keyword conditions. So ultimately, I would just put an if on here. Okay. And else if what? DEF CON is less than 3. Okay. Which means it would be 2 or 1.
Jordan and Steven. You guys are the winners of the 2017.
And DEF CON 1 and 2 are pretty safe levels. You're looking at pretty much normal readiness. Okay, so we could say that we are pretty safe for now. Okay. And we're going to drop the closing key here, else. Print. So let's see the conditions we have so far. If we're at level 3, we are at DEF CON and the level. Okay. You might want that inside the quote. Okay. So if it's 3, hey, you might want to take alert, DEF CON 3. It increases the force readiness. It puts the Air Force on notice and prepare to mobilize in 15 minutes. So that's something you want to pay attention to. Else, if DEF CON is less than 3, which means level 1 or 2, then you're feeling pretty safe. Okay. Else, it has to be either 1 or 2, which is not safe. So you would say, hey, maybe you would put there. Maybe you would put, hey, we are in trouble.
If we are to win this war, we must band together.
Okay.
We must fight as one.
So let's go through this here. So let's just say we get to DEF CON 1. I'm saying we're pretty safe for now. There's something I'm missing here. DEF CON is equal to 3. That's okay. So that's not it. It has to go to the next one. Okay. Else, if it's less than 3, meaning 2 or 1, we are pretty safe for now. So that's the opposite operator. So if it's greater than 3, there we go. So that makes more sense. So if we're at DEF CON 1, obviously we're in trouble. Okay. DEFCON 2, pretty much the same deal, in trouble. Okay, take it to 3. We're on notice, DEFCON 3, that's pretty scary. It's ultimately like what's coming. Go to 4, which is where we're at now. Hey, we're pretty safe for now. And 5, pretty safe for now. Okay, so we've went through one condition, then we went through 2 conditions, then we went through 3 conditions. We used all 3 of the if keywords, which is if, else if, and else. Okay. Our next lesson, we are going to learn case statements, or what Swift calls switch statements. So if you have anybody that you know that wants to learn how to program for iOS, please tell them about my channel. If you have any questions about this particular lesson, just go ahead and drop me a comment, and I'll answer you expeditiously. Okay, so we'll see you tomorrow for the lesson 4 in our Learn Swift Quick series, which will be on switch statements.